thinking small can destroy you. I know it's crazy to say that. But when you go bigger, a big business, a big rental property, like if I own 56 units and 4 people move out, nothing changes. If you own 8 units and 4 people move out, you can't make the mortgage payment.
Tony, we're back for another episode. We're here at the studio, and it seems like you're dealing with some stuff today, right?
I do, dealing with stuff every day. Again, like owning a business, you're a professional problem solver, but we're trying to do a lot of things right now. And I think what I've learned when you're trying to grow and you're trying to get, I'm trying to do things that really, there's no roadmap to follow. Like my wife and I are trying to get to 1,000 units of investment property owned as ourselves. I'm not a group. I don't have partners. I don't have a rich uncle or aunt or, father, mother funding us. I don't have a real estate background. I'm not an agent. I'm not a builder. I don't come from any of that. I can't even screw in a light bulb, to be freaking honest with you. And it's just been very, very difficult as of lately. And it's impacted, a lot of things like ability to produce content and do all the other things I'm supposed to be doing. And a big thing we've seen more and more on social media is almost like influencers coming in saying, I bought a $60,000 duplex, I quit my job, and now I travel the world. And I've always tried to pride myself on just being real and being honest. And that's why I don't go viral and I don't get a bunch of like wild shares, because I will say like it's hard. I will say it takes time. I will say you'll have to sacrifice. Where everyone else is like, do this one thing and become a millionaire. I'm just not like that, because that's not the truth, or at least that wasn't the truth for me. So I just share about what's been my reality. So yeah, dude, it's been really hard. So we're just gonna kind of free flow this. Usually we have like a nice script and like bullet points and all that. I've got some of those here, but maybe dude, just fire off some questions about.
Okay, so today we're talking about don't quit your job to invest in real estate.
No, listen, real estate is capital intensive. We've learned when we buy a property, that first couple months, if it's an income producing property, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You need money to do it. So I would never tell you take your last $50,000 and go buy a piece of real estate with it. I just wouldn't tell you to do it. Like I started investing in real estate when I had so much cash reserves lined up, and I looked at everything like, okay, stocks, okay, cryptocurrency, okay, like mutual funds, okay, real estate. This checked the most boxes for me, but I was not like, we're gonna go buy 2 duplexes and stop trying to make money everywhere else. It requires too much money. And if you're buying anything that is older, so like in Michigan and like most major metros, it's already developed, right? Like I can't go buy a 2020 apartment that was just built. There's no value to add to that. The real money is found buying older buildings, fixing them up, improving them, increasing the income, and then refinancing them to the bank, which is what we do. But you can't do that if you don't have money. And not only that, but dude, like, and again, we can go into it whatever which way, and you can ask questions, but the bank won't finance it to you if you're like, I'm taking my last dollar here and investing in real estate. So it's like, it is not meant to be a replacement of your earned income. You still need earned income. It is meant to be a supplemental way to create wealth so you don't have to keep working for money. We talked about it in a different podcast. Everybody starts off working for money, but real estate is a way to take your earned income, your bust your butt income, and get it to work for you. But you don't stop working for money with one rental property. Sure, if you own 1,000, like dude, when I own 1,000 units, I could probably stop working. Stop trying to produce income on the other side of the quadrant, right? Of the earned income side, earned income and passive income, right? Like think about like a line, earned, passive. When you have so much passive coming in, great, but how are you going to get there if you're not earning income also with it? You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. One thing I don't think people understand about investing in real estate is you are dealing with people's lives. I want you to talk about that right now because it's super relevant to you.
Real estate is easy. People are hard, right? Real estate's not complicated. It's very simple. People are hard. And I try to always put myself, I was a renter. I rented an apartment when I first started off right out of college in my career. I try to put myself in their shoes, and landlords get such a bad reputation, right? We fix problems. We take care of things. We treat people really well the best we can. But like right now, I'm trying to sell, I'm selling all my single family portfolio. So 1 to 4 units. When I started off investing in real estate, I had a different model. It's like the Gary Keller model, right? The Millionaire Real Estate Investor. You can go buy that book. Buy a house, put a tenant in it, pay it off over 30 years. I'm 33. I don't want to wait to 63 to have wealth accumulated. So once we started to learn the apartment game, the NOI game, and again, you can go watch my other videos and see how we do that. I've learned I can buy an apartment like my 7 unit, pay $660,000 for it, put $132,000 down, improve it because apartments are treated like businesses. Single family homes are not. Single family homes are 1 to 4 units. A lot of people get that confused. They say, oh, multifamily, a duplex. No. Single family is 1 to 4 units. Those can only be valued based on comparable sales. Apartments are treated like a business. So I improved the NOI, net operating income on that apartment. It appraised for $1 million a year later. I pulled out $250,000 tax-free and still kept the apartment, still kept the cash flow. When I learned that game, I'm like, I made a mistake. I literally will say, I've made a mistake. I should have never bought any of those single family rentals. It's too slow for me. It's cool if you want to just go slow and set money aside and let your debt be paid off. That will work, but I can get there so much faster with apartments. So now I'm like hitting Control-Alt-Delete. It's difficult to sell things. I mean, I'm selling at probably the worst time right now. They've been raising rates for 15 times straight or whatever it is over the last year. When you sell a single family home, when a tenant lives there, it's unfortunate because that tenant gets displaced. I'm not happy about that. I don't want to displace people. And we have good tenants. We have like lawyers and doctors, so we have nice houses, but I have to take care of my family. My family has different goals. Like that's our business plan. You know what I mean? Those sucks. The houses, the single family homes, cash flow the least. They really do. The duplexes cash flow more, the quadplexes, and the 7, the 8, and the 12, 16, you know what I mean? Learning what I learned now, I would never have bought that house. I bought 3 rental property houses. I still have my old house I used to live in. So I have 4 single family homes. I've got full transparency. I've got over $500,000 in equity, just trapped, just sitting there. Think about if you have $500,000 in a bank account locked. You're like, I want to get to that money so I can go turn that into 2 million, then 4 million, then 8 million. So that's what we're dealing with. And yeah, so like we're supposed to have showings right now at this rental property. And my agent calls me. He's like, guy's not letting people in. Tenant's not letting people in. He's angry. And I get it. I'd be angry too. I'd be frustrated. He's got a family. He's got a career. I get it, man. It's difficult. These are the things you deal with. These are the things you deal with in business. And it's like, you just have to try to maneuver it. Tying to our point here, dude, if I had no other income and no other money, I only had this one rental property and now the tenant's holding over and I can't, you know what I mean? Like you'd be so screwed. Be aware of these things that can go on and can cause issues. And there's so much that goes into it.
Why don't you explain your 3 strategies for wealth, or these 3 strategies for wealth?
Okay. So there's dead money. There's money not working for you, right? It's like under your mattress or it's in a Chase account because inflation's rotting away with it. Then there's slow money. Like right now, what I have in these single family homes, I would consider that slow money. I'm making a couple $100 a month, if that, paying down the debt slowly. And again, we're in Michigan, which I love investing in Michigan, but this isn't California. This isn't Scottsdale, Arizona. These properties are not doubling in value every 5 years. They're slowly going up 6-7% a year. Not bad because I invest in good areas, but it's just too slow. It's too slow. And then the third part of money is rapid money. That's why I love apartments. Like that deal I explained to you, my first apartment deal. Put $132,000 down in 2021. 2022, I pulled $250,000 out and kept the property and kept $250,000 of equity in the deal. That's fast money. Then again, we just recently did it again, paid $1.8 million for a property, put down 300,000 some change, just got it refinanced, 2.55 million, pulling out a little over 400,000. Do it again. And again, that's what I want for you. That's why I would tell you to go do is go get the fast money. I don't want the slow money or the dead money. Go get the fast money.
Fast money is the way to you quitting your job with real estate investing.
That if you can implement that over time and then stack those assets, then you can leave your job because you show a track record, you show liquidity. And 2, like guys, if you don't have a source of income, lenders won't lend you money. They will not lend you money. Even when I've told people who were looking to start like online coaching businesses and all that, telehealth field where I come from, I told people keep your job for as long as you can. When did it become so wrong to have a W-2 job to pay for your bills and to build a business on the side? That's how I did it. Now I quit a little early because, I didn't have a family. I didn't have kids. I had a house, but I was really good with money. I knew I could figure it out. But I see people quit their jobs too early. And then they're like, I'm broke and I'm barely getting by. It's like, well, because you quit your job to go into a business that realistically for the first 2 or 3 years might not make a profit. That's the reality of it.
It sounds like when you buy a property, your goal is to get the money out as fast as you can.
That's my goal now. When I buy an apartment building, my goal is to get my money out as fast as I can so I can pay myself back and then do it again and again and again at scale. So again, first deal, $660,000, appraised for $1 million, pulled out $250,000. My second deal is 2 buildings, a 12 and an 8, paid $1.8 million, financed, right? Put down $300,000 some change, just appraised for $2.55 million, pulling $400,000 out. And I'm just doing it again and again and again. That's how you can get there. But that takes time. Look, that's been a couple years already. It's been a couple years of building up, and I had the capital to do that down payment. Now, if you did that first deal with 4 partners, you're only taking out whatever, $250,000 divided by 4. That's not enough to be like, oh, okay, I'm quitting my job, you know? Or, well, I guess it depends on what lifestyle you want. If you want to live in like an RV, you know, sure, you could, but just be pragmatic about it. And it takes money to do this. Well, how did we make those apartments worth more money? We put money into them. We fixed them up. We cleared out deferred maintenance. If tenants weren't paying, we evicted those tenants and put in good tenants who do want to pay money and do want to pay in time and do want to take care of it. They don't want to go throw rocks. We've had people like their kids out there, like damaging the side of the building, throwing rocks, other tenants videoing it and sending it to us. Put in the good tenants, but that takes time. That takes money. Evictions cost money. They're not free and they don't happen overnight. Like it's wild, dude. If you don't pay, it takes months to evict somebody. So they will literally sit there, and once you serve an eviction, you cannot collect money. Did you know that? So if I evict you today because you haven't paid for 3 months, I cannot collect $1. If I collect $1, it starts the whole process over again. So the minute you serve an eviction, you know you're now not being paid for another at least 30, 60, 90, 120 days. We had one woman in one of our duplexes not pay for over 6 months. If I didn't have money, if I didn't have earned income, if I didn't have capital reserves, I would lose that property. You lose a property, it goes back to the bank, you get foreclosed on, you're done. You can't go buy more property. They will not lend if you have a foreclosure for most parts, right? But see, like nobody talks about that, bro. It's like buy one duplex, I'm financially free now. And it's like buy a $60,000 property. Dude, if you buy a $60,000 property, there's going to be things wrong with it. There's a reason it was $60,000. So just, again, be aware of those things.
Not only does it take time and money, it takes relentless research.
You got to do your homework. You got to do your due diligence on everything. The property, the loan you're getting, the area, just everything. Like the loan, the financing, that's a big part of it too that I didn't understand in the beginning. That bank becomes your business partner. And that business partner, that bank, right, they are giving you 70, 75, 80% of that money to go buy that building. They are the largest partner in the deal. You need to know who you're getting into bed with, right? You need to know what debt covenants you have. Why could they call back to know, bro, you want to, okay. So we have a lender. I did a loan through a mortgage broker, and a mortgage broker is someone who will go shop a deal for you. And they went out and put me with this lender who I didn't do my homework on. And I said, oh, they said they're a good guy. They're good people. So just trust us. Oh, okay. And then they set up our payments and we kept emailing them like, hey, because we did interest only for the first 18 months, which means I only pay interest. I don't pay the principal. Okay. Because there's a lot of things to fix up on the property. So you'll do interest only so you can get more money in your hand, cash flow every month to reinvest to the property. And we would email them. We're like, hey, how do we make our payments? Like who, you know, like how much is the payment, whatever. And then they finally came back like weeks after closing, like, oh, here's how you make the payments and here's the payment amount. It looked a little low to me. And again, personal responsibility. I should have looked into it more, but I didn't. Just made the payment. A year later, they email me, we made a mistake. Your payment should have been about $3,000 more than what it's been. But don't worry, just pay it all right now and we're good. Or we'll just increase your payments 900% to catch up for the next 7 months. If we didn't have the money to cover that, we'd be fucked. Because what we were supposed to do. And again, I take personal responsibility. I should have looked at it. I knew that payment felt low. My gut was like, this seems low for what it should be. But also too, if like the car dealer gives you a car and the payment looks low, you're not gonna be like, hey, I think it should be more money, right? You're like, whatever, it's up to you. So my lawyer's involved now. It's a whole big, we still don't have a resolution on it. But you know what the resolution is probably gonna be? I have to cut a check to make up that balance, period, because it's owed, right? And it should have been paid all along. If you didn't have the money to cover that, or let's say you were barely getting by and living off that cash flow and your payment, let's say was $2,000, now it's going to be $8,000 to catch up and then it resets, what do? Right? So that's why, guys, I'm telling you, this is not a game. It's great. It's wonderful. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I couldn't do stocks or Bitcoin or whatever, but it takes money. And if I did not build that first business, there's no way I could be doing what I'm doing. There's there's no way. Unless again, you're taking money from other people. But those are just 2 stories within the last month of things that have happened. I could go all day with stuff. So just be aware of that, because I don't know anyone else who's telling you that this is the reality of what will happen. If you don't have liquidity and cash reserves, you can go out of business.
It sounds like one of your biggest mistakes in both your businesses was not focusing on volume and scale. And that's really the way that you're going to be able to quit your job with this, right?
Yeah, that's a great point. So my biggest mistakes in both of my businesses was I just went too small. Like in my first business, it was so niche. I only had a runway of a few thousand customers. And again, it was great. I love it. You know what I mean? But I was like a business coach just for registered dietitians. The problem was there's only 70,000 registered dietitians in the United States. Only probably half of them ever remotely think about starting a business, and maybe half of that will actually ever do it. So 15,000 customers. What business would you ever build for a lifetime and say, I only have 15,000 customers? I mean, and we had thousands of, we already reached thousands. So here I was at like 28, 29 being like, how am I going to do this for the next 20, 30 years? What am I going to do? That's what led me to start to create real estate, right? And then broaden out my coaching, say, hey, I'll work with people in the health field, or I'll work with, executive. I'll do business coaching for anybody who has a coaching consulting business. Same thing with my real estate. I bought a house, then I bought another house, then I bought a duplex. I should have, knowing what I know now, saved all that money, bought a 32 unit to start, because I had the capital to probably buy at least a 16 unit. My first deal should have been 16 units, then 32, then 56. Now I'm control alt deleting. I'm trying to sell off everything probably for a little less because I'm trying to go fast, right? So I'm making deals just to get things moved, right? I'm not holding out for the highest price to get my money back and profit. Knock on wood, I've never lost money on a deal, right? So that is positive, right? Because you never go broke taking a profit. Get all that money, buy this 56 unit, and then the next one, 70, 80, 100 units. I'm done small. Small will make you broke. And you learn too, man, what businesses go out or what properties go back to the bank. It's the small ones. It's the 4 units, the 8 units, because those don't support enough capital to go hire management or to go hire a team member. So you end up having to do everything yourself with them. Or you go pay a third-party manager, but you'll make no money with it. And that's what also we experienced. Go watch that video, right? Why we had to fire our third-party management. I used to have third-party management until I didn't get paid for months on end for certain properties, and they weren't the most effective managers, so we had to do it. So all this to say, thinking small can destroy you. I know it's crazy to say that, but when you go bigger, a big business, a big rental property, like if I own 56 units and 4 people move out, nothing changes if you buy a good deal. If you own 8 units and 4 people move out, you can't make the mortgage payment. You can't make the tax payment. You're 50% vacant. That is in trouble. That's a distressed property. 4 people move out. If you don't have cash reserves, you can't pay that property. So that's where going small can hurt you.
Kind of leads into one of our next points is most properties that go back to the bank are small properties.
Dude, when you look at it, when you look at foreclosures, very rare to see a 200 unit get foreclosed on. Very rare do you see a 100 unit get foreclosed on. It's the mom and pop stuff, man. It's the small properties. Because like I said, this all hit me like a freight train. So again, guys, you were kind of like learning with me here. I started noticing, Nick, who am I buying from? Mom and pops. And then why am I buying them? Because they were burned out. My first one, my 7 unit, burnt out. Three partners burnt out, sold it for $660, kept the rents at $700. The rents for $1250 now. It's right away from here. It's a beautiful area, A plus area. They were just burnt out. They were like, forget it. Next one I bought was a 12 and 8 that I talked about. Guy was burnt out. His tenants would text him, blow him up, all that, no systems, no anything, burnt out. Next ones I bought, the 12 and the 8 and the 2 8s, burnt out. Guy lived out of state. His manager passed away, burnt out. Guy bought the 16 unit from the one where we talked, the major reposition. We were out there. We filmed that video. Go check that out. He bled that property every dollar he could, never took a dollar back into it, and he was burnt out. This 56 unit, this big one I'm under contract with, it's been the best deal. They're not burned out. They're trading up to something bigger because they had 56 unit and 100 unit and whatever. They had much bigger properties because there was more cash flow. So they had team members, they had management, they had structure. It's the cleanest property. It's the best property. It's been the smoothest deal I've ever done. Honestly, dude, listen to this. It's crazy. On the 56 unit, they never asked me for proof of funds. They didn't ask what lender I'm using. They didn't ask me any questions. On those small units, they're like, we want to see the lender. We want to meet the lender. We want to talk to the lender. I need a bank statement showing you've got the money. Oh, what's this? I'm requesting certain documents. They're like, we don't have this. They were so much harder. This 56 unit, I'm like, hey, can I get this? They're like, yep, here it is. Hey, what about this? Yeah, oh, yep, here it is. I kept telling my wife, I'm like, do you guys want to, to the broker, I'm like, do you want to know who lender I'm using? Like, no, we don't care. It was so much easier. It's been so much easier. It's wild. But I've learned that every small landlord I bought from, they were burned out. I don't want that. I don't want that for ourselves. And we are experiencing a bit of that. So that's why, again, we're trading up, because once you get to 100 units, you can afford on-site management. You can afford a full-time person there Monday through Friday on-site doing it.
I mean, the more units, the more income you have to cover expenses.
I mean, look at it like this. If I'm making, let's just do some math here. If I'm making $1,000 per unit and I have 10 units, not bad. Cool. You're making $10,000. Right? Usually apartments run at 50% expenses, if not more. So 10,000 times 12, 120,000 a year, 50%, 60,000. And that doesn't include your debt payments. So that means your payment to the mortgage and all that. So you have 60,000, you still have to pay your mortgage and your principal, your interest, things like that. It's not a lot to work with. Let's say you have 100 units making $1,000 per month. That's 100 grand a month, or 1.2 million a year. What do you think is going to put more money in your pocket if you run them both perfectly? If I run a 10 unit perfectly or a 100 unit perfectly. And that's what I experienced with my first deal. When I walked away from the bank at the closing and doing the refinance, I had the $250,000 check. I'm not gonna lie, I felt a bit upset because I'm like, if we would have done this with 70 units instead of 7, that could be a $2.5 million check. And it's not any more work. It's just doing it over a bigger span of time and in a bigger property. But I'm telling you guys, knowing what I know now, man, if you can, it's okay to start there because again, you do learn experience, but more units, more volume, more scale, more income, more security. All right. So I want to hear from you. You literally, I shared things in here. I didn't know if I was prepared to share, but I did it because I just want to be transparent and honest. Again, I wouldn't trade real estate investing for anything in the world. And I do believe my wife and I are going to own 1,000 units, but I want to share with you the challenges because social media just shares the good. They just share, I'm sipping Mai Tais on a beach and I own a duplex. I want to be real with you of what this takes and what to encounter so you can profit off my mistakes. So let me know, do you agree or disagree? Go big is the way to go. And don't limit yourself with small thinking. Approach real estate as a business and understand there are things that can go wrong. So if you have any questions about anything we talked about here, leave a comment below. Let me know. Hey, if you enjoyed this and you just appreciate me being real, raw, transparent, and authentic. Sometimes people are always like, we ran into someone at Starbucks yesterday. She's like, you guys making big money moves again? We knew her. Dude, we struggle. I just am good at not showing my struggle. But maybe that's what I'm trying to do more, is show you my struggles. Because I know I'll never quit, so I know I'll get there. But maybe sharing more of the struggles along the way helps you relate to the struggles you're embracing and going through, that we all struggle. But if we don't quit and we don't surrender, we'll get to our goals. So if you enjoy this, let me know, leave a comment below. Hey, if you want help and coaching and mentorship, click the link in my description here to apply for one-on-one coaching. If you want to learn more about what we're talking about here, I have 2 free gifts for you. I have my book that you can get. It sells for $19 on Amazon, New Rules to Financial Freedom. Click the link. Also have my real estate masterclass. People flew to me with my business coach and I in California. We did an event. I paid $3,000 per person to be there. You can get the video for absolutely free. Click the link in the description. Thank you so much for being here. To your success. We'll talk soon. Thanks.